Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to Tool Show with me, Master Dan, the Journeyman shooter. And today I'm here filming another one of my little coffee time segments. I'm just going for a lovely walk down in the, I guess it's the Beltline here? No, it's the, I don't know what it is. It's just down by the Bow River here, and we're right near the Peace Bridge, which is beautiful. And you can see all the city in the background, all the construction, and I'm watching two birds fight in the water over here because, I don't know, I think one of them's getting in on the other one's territory. And that's part of the trades too. So today's coffee time lesson is what to do if somebody else is getting in on your territory. Now, there's lots of people that are going to be jealous out there, and they're always going to want what you have. And that's a tough part, is because you're going to want the best. And if you're anything like me, you're going to try really hard to get that stuff. And there's always going to be people that hate on it. There's always going to be somebody that's jealous, that doesn't think that you deserve it. And that's part of life. You just got to kind of keep rolling with that. You can't let those things get you down. If anything, you got to use that as a kind of a teaching lesson. Like, there's always going to be geese fighting behind you, and there's always going to be problems out there. It's just sometimes you got to make the most out of that. You can't let things get you down, especially if something's holding you back. Usually there's a reason for that. It's going to kind of lead you to places that are going to make you better, and hopefully get you to a place that makes you not have to worry about fools like that are trying to take advantage of you and steal your energy, because that's one of the things. You can't give up your brain. You can't let somebody get into your brain. One of the things that I always talked about with Big Brothers Big Sisters with the kid I mentor is there is always somebody trying to kind of get in his brain. And especially at work with construction, when you're a young guy, there's always going to be somebody that's there trying to kind of take advantage of you, or I don't know, they're going to make jokes. It's part of the construction. You're always going to get somebody that tells you to go find something like the checkered tape or the checkered paint, or something like that. It's like, oh, I need a black and white paint. It's like they don't make the black and white paint, but you gotta I remember one time they sent a kid to look for the checkered paint one time, and he actually looked for a name brand called checkered paint for like an hour and a half, and I think he ended up finding something that was pretty close. But it was interesting because somebody thought they were messing with him, and they ended up just wasting his time and everybody else's. But there's nothing you can do about that. That's part of the trades. People like to play practical jokes in the trades, and you just got to kind of make the most out of it. You can't take anything personal. And I'll always remember one time we were working at a really stressful site, and the boss was kind of a real dongle, I guess. I can't really think of what he was, but he was just an interesting guy, and he always treat you bad, I guess, like compared to what you thought you were going to be treated like. And I remember one time there was a British police officer. He was a former British police officer, and he was just starting in construction in the trades, and he'd kind of given up on being a bobby, and he moved to Canada, and he was learning, and real big guy, not a guy you kind of wanted to mess with. And this foreman kept just treating him like he was a 2-year-old and calling him names, and the foreman was using his tools and then using his tools improperly, and the guy's just like, come on, like, what are you doing? And the foreman just kind of lost it on him. So finally he grabbed his pipe reamer and he said, you're lucky I don't stick this and where the sun doesn't shine. And that was the first time I ever heard somebody threaten to literally ream another man out. But it was interesting because everybody kind of knew that he should have said it, but I don't know, it was one of those walk the thin line, because he let the guy get into his head, and the guy ended up firing him because of it. And I think he just quit because he didn't care. He came over and shook my hand and he said, sorry, something just went down, I gotta leave. And I said, oh, I heard, that was that was interesting. It made the rest of our day. But right after, when the guy finally did leave, the foreman gathered everybody around, and he said, I want to have a talk with you guys. We need to have a talk right now. And we're like, oh no, he's going to give us all crap for this. And pardon about the C word there. But so he said he was going to give us all, like, we thought he was going to give us all trouble for it, but he ended up crowding us around, and he says to us, and this was one of the best lines I'd ever heard in construction, is, nothing is ever personal in construction. And then he followed it up with one of the best lines I've ever heard, is, but that was totally personal. So how can you, well, I don't know, nothing's ever personal, and that was totally personal. It was a good one. It was a funny life lesson for us. But that's the thing I always took from that, is just the first part, is nothing is ever personal in construction, and you just got to kind of make the most out of it. You can't always have people treating you like gold. You got to meet deadlines, and everybody's under stress, so everybody treats people differently when they're under those stresses, and that's part of it. You just got to kind of get out of that, because I know a lot of people, they take their frustrations out on everybody, and that's part of not letting somebody get into your head. You can't let people do that. You can't let people try to think that they can control you through those crazy thoughts, and you just got to be bigger than that. And But that's about it. So for today, and all I want you to really take from this is that you just try not to. There's lots of different lessons online of how to deal with those kind of people or how to deal with the bully and all that, but 90% of the time they don't work in the trades because you can't really tell on somebody that you work with, because now in the trades it's people talk, and then everybody starts spreading rumors, and it just makes things worse a lot of the time. So most of the time you just have to be the bigger person and walk away. And that's what I remember on TV, or not, it wasn't TV. We had a big speech at work, and one of the things that the foreman wanted to talk about was people were fighting on site and everybody was getting in trouble and getting frustrated with each other. So finally the foreman just said, hey, everybody, if there's somebody that's bothering you and somebody that's treating you bad, you just walk away. And that's a good lesson, especially in life. You have the power to walk away. You're nowhere you don't want to be. So if you don't want to be here, work hard and get out of there. If you're in a place that you don't want to be, like a bad part of the city or somewhere you don't want to be living, then start working hard. Try to find a plan to get out of there. Start writing something down and get something on paper that you want to get out of there and how you're going to get out of there. Do it, because it's easy to say that you want to get out of there and think about it, but unless you actually do it, you're not going to change your situation. So if you want to better yourself and not let people get in your head, then find a place that makes you happy. So for Tool Show, I'm Master Dan, the Journeyman Shooter. For coffee time, have a good day and don't let anybody get in your head.